Hello, everyone, from a little place called Heaven's Kingdom here in the Netherlands, and our beautiful divine comrades, Snotty and Rick, has brought us here. So we're in a beautiful, peaceful, restful place for a few days, and also an energetic, important place here. So it's very good. I'll give you a little view before I begin. Oh, there we go. Oh, I had to see the beautiful pink sky, perhaps, which will come. So these are our surroundings, and here is Pip, and Femke is inside. Hey, Femke, you want to say hi? So it is a beautiful, tremendous day. First off, I put the link to our PayPal in this live. And I wish to speak a little bit about the reasons why I have done this and a little bit more in depth with it. So, upon the planet, the main mission is to free humanity from the confines and the control of money. And at this present time, we have actually done that. We have flipped the tables on the old money makers, if you will. And we are still at the moment in the transitory period of integrating that fully upon the planet. So with this, as with most of you yet, there is a certain dependency upon a certain amount of money to keep you going from the old system. Now, there are two things. There is the universal flow that when one comes into that knowing that it is there and that it does exist, you have everything that you need to exist. And it will come in many different forms and in many different ways. So having said that, as with Femke and I doing our mission, we are absolutely totally conservative, as you can see, and we do not require much money from the old to keep going forward with this Ascension mission. So we are very conservative, yet we do require assistance from the old, like all of you so far, or most of you. And it's also, there is the energetics also involved in that, and in the connectivity, which is so important with all joining together and energizing the one big thing. And the one big thing is the transition for all of humanity and all that we are doing together. So each plays a very important role in that, in transitioning humanity out of the old evil control of money into the area in the very near future when humanity realizes fully they do not require money to exist. So we are breaking through all of the old programming, all of the barriers of that. But we're also using money as a good tool. And this is the difference between what has been done in the past. Money was used as an evil tool to control and suppress humanity. And no longer are we in these times. And this is why you're seeing the emergence of the complete, ultimate solution that transitions humanity entirely out of that old control. And without getting too far into depth on that ultimate solution, which is the divine plan, and it is ascertained, and uh, the let's say how long it takes to get here depends upon each one of you. However, we are advancing very quickly into it, where let's say simply the people's money to be used as a good tool, the value is derived from the intrinsic value of one. And this is so powerful for the people, where they turn on their intrinsic value and add it all together as the whole to create the good money as a tool. By doing this, it's coming from within. So there is the purity of this money that is created, yes, out of thin air, just because you can. You are the creators of it. So what this does, it disempowers fully the old, let's say, 1% that was controlling everyone by money and, with the greed. They're ulterior motives. We're not genuine. But we are in the time where we are advancing into the genuine civilization, if you will, the humane civilization. So we are doing it very quickly. Any of you, if you wish to look on our website, you'll see Thailand is doing an amazing job with many that are voting for the new world and getting in alignment with it, because it does constitute a vote. And one of the reasons is you are here physically, materially. So to transition this reality, you can make the energetic statement that transitions you from the old control of money and also the old control of your rights into the new. So you need to make this transition, and you need to make an energetic imprint on the website to show you're ready for transitioning into the new, and you voted, and this is how it gets created. So without going too much into that, yeah, so we still require a little bit of assistance as of late. It's been slower, and usually I don't wish to ask for funding. When we in the past would fund, it would give us enough for a month or so because we don't use much money. However, in the recent couple months past, funding has been very limited, only giving us enough for a couple weeks or so. And all we really do is buy some organic tobacco and our food and a little bit of fuel, and of course to pay for our internet. So we are very conservative with that. And because of the recent past, you see a lot with with the convoys and things, a lot of funding going there. You also had, the Christmas season, where ones in that time of the year, typically that there is not much funding, much assistance going out to others. So you had a multiple of factors what was contributing to it. And of course, you had some of the little shadow banning by the darkness and a little bit of the censorship and those foolish things. But at the end of the day, for what we are divinely, it is the superior in the ultimate, and nothing prevents what we're doing or where we're going. I got a nice cup here, nice heart with that. So the movie, if you will, yeah, it's playing out. It's important for all of you to be aligned with the new reality, what is occurring. Meaning that any of the fear propaganda or narratives that are being put out there, It's so important not to become entangled in that and be a part of it. For if you do, it is in your operating consciousness and it is being reflected out in your reality and energized. So one of the main tricks is to know that I wish to call them the old masters of deception. One of their tactics was interjecting into the reality the fear narratives, the fear paradigms. And I know that most of you already know this. However, in this great awakening time, it's important to keep reiterating and refreshing the information for those that are coming along that need this new information, and also as confirmations to what they may be feeling and getting. So it's important to maintain the guidance for that. This next segment I'm going to speak about right now is for all of, let's say, the spiritual teachers, the ascension teachers, ascension coaches, all of you that are providing a service for the souls. No longer look at for humanity. You need to look at the souls. And with this, you don't place a monetary value upon assisting any. It's so important that you place the value of the individual you are assisting above the money. And over the past, I cannot emphasize that enough. You have many beautiful, genuine, divine teachers out there. However, some have been bought, by the money and controlled by it, that their main intention when they assisted ones is about collecting a fee, collecting money. And that was the priority over the actual assistance of the individual. You need to understand that with the old ways of business and commerce, when any of the spiritual teachers were in that, making a business where the main intent was to make money, to keep you in a place of comfort and complacency, then you are not fruitful at evolving humanity forward. You are not in alignment with your purpose when you do this. You need to have a prudency and a responsibility to know you're not to remain stagnant, always helping ones, getting money and then going helping more. We are to advance humanity out of that looping cycle. So all of you teachers that are out there, I reiterate again, to please give this some conscious thought on what you are energizing and what benefits that you are adding to the evolution forward, and to at least get out of the stagnancy. So assist everyone with full empowerment and have no expectation of any monetary reward for it. Your focus is to be upon the soul you're assisting and advancing reality. We are going to the heaven scenario on earth, and the heaven scenario does not include the old ways of evil monetary control, business, or commerce. There is no more of that. There is freedom where we are going. So if you wish to create the freedom and abundant reality, you need to be a peer for that. You need to be the example to let that emanate outward into the collective consciousness and say, hey guys, there's not the separation by being bought by money to assist a few that keeps you looping. You need to have the unity and create the new reality. That's what this is all about, this great time. It's not about having a human experience where you're in the full universal flow for yourself. No longer is that the case. This is not about self. This is about unity and everyone. And any selfishness, as many of you will see, will quickly implode you. This is about sharing, about compassion. It is about the individual soul, the development forward, and most importantly, it's for the entire planet to advance humanity out of this savagery. And each one of you are endowed and bestowed with the divine abilities and gifts to do this. So you need to be coordinated and in alignment with going forward. And it's so important. And having said this as well, you will come to see that if you're not in divine compliance, you will be forced to go into it. You will be driven to your knees if you remain being a subject of money and the control of that. And it's assured. It's been assured for many in the past, and many can attest to this, that it is very true. You know, you have very important divine missions here, and one of that is detaching from the material world in the control of that, because you have a very important divine mission, and that is to assist others and advance them forward to your fullest ability. And with that comes the greatest reward, the reward of gratification, seeing how you assisted others to grow and how they were not restricted by money. So put the value on the individual. Now, as we said, going forward, within the people, the human souls upon the planet, that is where the power is at. So you don't have, let's say, one or five so-called old world leaders ruling 8 billion people. That's a no-no. So we are going through the process of eliminating that now as we keep going higher. But it's important all have your focus on the new world and don't get caught up into the intentional fear, propaganda, and narrative that is put in by the remnants of darkness. You need to know the remnants of darkness, which are very few, are very afraid, and they cannot create like you and I. The only way they could create was writing a script, putting it out, let's say in the news media or online, and getting you to read it and believe it. Then you would create for them. So know these futile dark tactics and say no. None of the fear tactics, none of the fear narrative resonates with I, and I'm not energizing it nor being part of it. Then you shift your focus on creating the full solution, the ultimate heaven on earth. That's where you need to put your focus and keep in alignment with it. Now, you need to, at times, dependent upon the individual, to keep a neutral eye on the fear narratives, because you, as a co-creator, have the power to counter any of that effect that it is having on an oblivious one. So maintain your higher divine status and say, no, this is a fear narrative. It's not supported in the least by the majority of the people upon the planet. So yes, indeed, everything is divinely set up. And again, I will say the planet is divinely forced to ascend forward. And that is true. Everyone is forced. You're forced through seeing what is occurring upon the planet, what ones are subjugated to. They're forced to make the choice, which is in alignment to go forward. And these are the most glorious, auspicious times. And any that doesn't make the choices, they may begin to implode for a short time, but if they're to go forward, then they awaken and they get in alignment with going forward. Ones, let's say there are remnants of darkness that are not going forward, they get into that tailspin and they completely implode and they exit the reality. They exit the picture. And this is occurring. Nothing stops this. It's guaranteed. It is divine. It is the planetary ascension. So we're in a beautiful pine forest here, and the pine trees are just so beautiful and peaceful, and they are also beneficial for the human vessel and, let's say, the human consciousness as well, at creating a pacifying state. And if you wish to look it up, even Earth scientists tells you the benefits of smelling pine needles as well, and what it does, with the chemical reactions. And of course, the pine needles are very good when you make a tea out of them for enhancing your immunity as well. So it has many benefits. Wink, wink. So that is great. So I won't keep this very long. I got the message more or less out there, and to sum all of the rambling up, keep in alignment with your ascension. Know that you are the writer of the new reality, and with that you get to choose what you wish to keep in it and what has to go. For example, you don't want a reality where there's any fear, war, and control and over people and any evil. So if you don't want that, you just simply don't energize it with the consciousness and use your higher divine co-creator abilities at energizing in your reality what you want and what you wish. And yes, we are still transitioning, and it is also why I put out for some assistance a little bit. We don't need much, and I put the PayPal link is in the description here if it resonates or if you feel guided to assist with that. And of course, it becomes everyone's choice on what to do. So we are all together. It's important to keep creating the worldwide unity to the best of everyone's ability. Take good care of your physical vessels. You would not have been told this years and years ago if it was not true, because it's an important and essential aspect for you at integrating and activating all of your multi-dimensional abilities. So once we have humanity advanced to the first 5D state of being and resonance, once they are there, we continue to move on to other places. And you need to take care of this vessel, because most of you are taking this vessel through different dimensions where physics is different. So part of your light body activation is to have the vessel prepared to go into the other dimensions where there are no chemicals in the body and where it is pure, and where you're breathing, your air you breathe is much purer. And to give you a little tip with that, these physical vessels do not require food at all. So take good care of them. It's very important to keep the good, clean water in the vessels and keep the vessels hydrated. For now, there's a very important reason for that until we transcend the ladder, the Ascension Ladder, a little higher. And the more you take care of your physical vessel at assuring that it's detoxed and that you're not putting so many chemicals in there. For example, you put a lot of chemicals in your body, then a lot of your energy is taken to, let's say, attempting to break down these chemicals because they don't belong. They're foreign to the body. And with that, then your energy is distracted at just maintaining a body's existence instead of advancing it. So keep your vessel entirely clean, then more of your energy is available to activate and advance the physical vessel quicker. Alcohol, get rid of it. Don't even have it. And for some of you, no fermented fruits as well, because fermented fruits began to create a complex alcohol which has carbon in it and sugars. And as many of you can quickly look, when you drank perhaps alcohol in the past, you would have a hangover perhaps the whole next day. This is a clear example to show you how it's so important not to drink alcohol so that your body does not have to expend that energy of dealing with breaking down the complex carbons and sugars. Then your energy is more free to advance you forward. And the further you go forward with your vessel clean, the more quickly your DNA will begin to be activated to higher degrees. And with higher activation of your DNA comes more of your divine power and your ability. With this, there is two egos, I'd like to say, just to categorize or label them. There is the bad ego you don't want. All of you have been dealing with it. But there is that good ego that is there, the good ego. You need that. That is your divine identity. It is attached to your divine mission to be a peer here, to be an example, and to publicly, if needed, to say, yes, you are a divine emissary of the light. This is what you are. So you need that. And we all do. And as you see, nothing restrains me. There comes the time, dependent upon the individual and whatever role, divine role you have to play upon the surface, there comes the time when you raise above the restrictions and confines of humility. You need to go above it. You need no longer to be meek and in the closet and restricted by humility. You need to have your voice that can be heard in the world. So you need to rise above that. And it is so important, and we need all of you light leaders to speak. We need you to speak of unity, togetherness, of peace, love, and harmony. Anything less than that, anything opposite than that, is not accepted in this new reality we are creating altogether. And if there's anything that separates you, separation is not divine. So if you are being separated somehow from the light or from the light community, I suggest to go in and look at yourself or look at the external. Perhaps if it's something else or someone else that is saying something disconnecting you, go in and look at that intent, because separation is not divine. It's not unity. It's not what we're doing. So, a couple little things with that. So, woo! It's beautiful. What a beautiful sky we have. So, love and light all, and much gratitude, and what we will be doing is having a day or so, if you will, of a little bit of relaxation here, and revitalizing our physical vessels. What I can say is, all of you, like I, as being empaths, we are the pain takers, the same as the Christ. And so there is an energetic exchange when we assist ones. So our purpose upon the planet as being an empath is to take from others their density while you are giving them the higher light, the higher trust. So during this energetic exchange, they are raising higher in their consciousness, in their vibration, but then you take in the negativity to transmute it in whatever way you will, so that this negativity is not released into the environment. It is a density, and we don't want that there. This is why you are the empath, to take it within you and transmute it through your love and through your gratitude. That way the buck stops here. It stops at you. And it's important that you do this. But there are times to take care of your energetic field, your physical vessels. If you feel it becoming a little bit inundated by a lot of the density because you are transmuting, then you need the time out to keep your vessel good and strong. I'm a bulldozer, a divine bulldozer, so I keep going forward and collecting a lot. But there are times, just like now, like today, I got to go recuperate and rejuvenate and get the energetic field more proportional with the forward reality. And we keep moving forward. Please know that we do not continue this transmutating process forever. We don't keep looping. With every bit of density and negativity you take out of this reality, we keep rising up higher and higher. And there comes this point we no longer need to transmute this density, that it is clear and the vibration is higher absent of this density. So you're not forever doomed at transmuting. There is the rhyme and there is the reason for everything that we're doing. And we're getting very close to ending the mission of that. And the great rewards come when the mission is completed. You are given little divine rewarding incentives along the way, but the real reward comes when we get the mission completed. So stick with it, be more conscientious of what you're doing as a divine instrument, at transitioning the reality for all. And it's not about self. That's not why you're here. It's about self in the beginning to learn how things work. Then, once you have this inner work done, then you realize it's not about you, it's about the reality. And that's what we're all here to change for the good. So, you're not doing this for nothing, and everything does occur for a reason, and it's why everyone must do their inner work. The more inner work you do at getting rid of the fear, once this little bit of mistrust goes, it's replaced with trust. And this is your empowerment, because of all of the divine virtues empowers you further. So you got to let go of all of the fear, emotions, and old actions and reactions. And that is part of your mastery. So as you let go of the old fear ways, it is replaced with your empowerment, which is in divine alignment. And you begin to create more confirmations for yourself and much more power for yourself in good ways. And also you will amaze yourself at your abilities. So there is a reason for all of this, and stick with it and keep doing your good things, and know that it is because of the mission we all have. So instead of rambling on, this is unity, which is very important, as we know. This is victory, the Holy Grail, peace, and the galactics. A couple winks from Mother and Father, and much, and this is love. Woo! So, love, light, and gratitude, and have an amazing day. Thank you. And thank you for all the beautiful comments. I haven't looked, for I was busy. Yeah, you know, we got some nice pink coming here in the back. That's beautiful. Love and light. Woo!